All right, breaking Browns news when it comes to the stadium showdown. The Haslams just announced about an hour ago they're upping the amount of money they're putting into the Brook Park project. 19 data journalist Dan DeRose is here to break it down, and part of this, Dan, appears to be out of necessity.
It is out of necessity, but this is still the Haslams opening up their checkbook and writing an extra $555 million for this project. That alone is astounding. That is a heck of an investment. Nobody else is investing $555 million in Northeast Ohio right now. So let's look at what has happened and what's the change. This was the breakdown in early 2025 that they gave us, the Haslams. Here's the breakdown they just sent us about an hour ago. Here's the major difference. I want you to notice this piece of the pie right here. $178 million from the county. Well, we know how Chris Ronayne feels about that, so that's just not going to be in the equation. That does not come over to the new piece of pie. How about Brook Park and that small community's investment? They had originally said $422 million. Well, now it's $245 million. That's a loss of another $177 million. Then there's the total cost of the project. Drew a little bit on there. That says $2.4 billion. What do you notice over here? The project has now gone up to $2.65 billion. That is a difference when the money that they lost from the county, the money they're losing from Brook Park, the increase, the $200 million increase in the project, what does that come out to? $555 million. That means the Browns and the private investment, the Haslams and the private investment grows to $1.755 billion. That alone is the largest single investment in any private project in Northeast Ohio history. That doesn't even account for everything else. $2.6 billion project. That you have to get in your mind how massive this project is. The largest project Northeast Ohio has ever seen, and really second or third largest project in the state's history. And the Haslams have just recommitted and upped and got out their checkbook and wrote another $555 million. Coming up at 4 o'clock, we have a statement from Dee and Jimmy Haslam about this investment. Nicole?
All right, Dan, and a lot has happened.